So welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited. Happy New Year to my next guest. I have with me Susan Tanko. She's the president of WCI the Business Sales, and she's also one of my sponsors. So first of all, I want to thank you, obviously, for supporting the show. And you were a listener first. I don't know how long ago it was. Seems like, oh God, at least 7 years ago, maybe more, that you were a listener. You've been on the show now, and I am so grateful to you. Thank you, Susan. First of all, for being here, but also for what you do for people who want to either buy or sell a business.
Thank you, Carol. Thanks for inviting me back over and over again. And yes, you caught my attention years ago. You're a great person to listen to,
You're
people in.
Thank you.
And I used to sit in my car before appointments and listen to you and take notes.
That's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
You know what? I think that the most important thing that we want to get out today is a little bit about the company, what you do. And you guys have, I think it's over 300 years of experience. And so when you're listening to anybody, now if you may be on the fence thinking about maybe you want to sell a business, I think it's somebody that they should talk to her because of the experience that they bring. Now, with WCI Business Sales, you want to talk a little bit about what the business provides. Let's tell everybody about that.
Right, so you nailed it. We have over 300 years experience between our 14 licensed agents. We have another agent coming on. Amy Newman's been with us for almost 25 years, is currently going to school today to get her license to step up. So we have a lot of experience in our office. We have the team, we know the people, we have everything down. So we're just waiting to talk to you and see how we can help get this process moving. Maybe now's the time, maybe 6 months from now, maybe you need another tax return under your belt, but we will tell you that because we work only on commission. So we take listings that we think we can sell.
Absolutely, and they work hard for you because of that, right? You
Absolutely.
have said many times you want to be able to get the most you can for that business owner.
Yes. Yes, we do. And the least risk, that's really important to us.
So, okay, what types of businesses do you sell?
We sell profitable businesses that are showing a nice profit the last 3 to 5 years, ascending or steady sales, preferably not one big customer or two that if they go away that you would lose most of your business. But if that is the case with your business, we have ways around that too. So we like to get these deals financed through SBA, which, probably only about 40% are going SBA right now. We have a lot of cash buyers. We have a lot of PE groups, merger and acquisition type groups that are coming to us saying, hey, we own, big HVAC companies across the U.S. and we'd like to add plumbing to it or whatever it may be. So we sell all types of businesses that have good books and records and make sense.
Now, I have to ask you this because I happen to know you do. Is that there's some people that they're listening and they're, well, I don't have that. Well, you can help them with that because that's part of what you do. If you are thinking, even just thinking about the possibility of selling your business, have them do that, come in and talk to you, and because you can help them where you see right there where they need to work on. You yourself may not really know that.
Absolutely. We've had some people come meet with us and they're like, geez, I kind of in the front of the back of my mind have thought that might be a problem, but now I see that it really is. So yeah, I'm going to replace that manager, or I'm going to step away from the business a little bit, or I'm going to go ahead and not purchase that building right now because that would make a difference on the buyer's financing. So there's all this stuff that goes into this, and timing is really important.
Talking, I think, is also very important.
Right, and we'll talk about the timing and what things need to be happening, what things you might be considering doing that we'll say, oh, don't do that right now if you're going to sell the business. Like, don't take on more debt. There's just unless it's absolutely necessary.
This is where you hear their experience, and the knowledge that they bring. You can check her out on the website. It's WCI Broker without the S.com. Their phone number, 602-795-2005. please write the number down. It's one of those things that, you just right now might be just sparking something in your head going, I think I might like to do that. I'm getting ready, When is the best time for them to call you?
When you have your books and records in order is an optimal time. Right now is a great time because you have year end from last year. You don't need to file your tax return to come see us, but assuming that your calendar year end is in December. A lot of the larger companies have fiscal year ends, which they might not have a year end until the end of March. So it depends on your situation, but yeah, right now is a really good time. I cannot tell you how many buyers. We already have 60,000 registered buyers, and in the last 2 weeks, they're begging new buyers and old. What do you have? What do you have coming down the pipeline? What can you tell us about what's coming?
That's awesome.
And they're all over the map on what they're looking for. It's really exciting.
It's interesting because the economy, you'd think, oh no, nobody's spending money, right? That is not true. There's money out there.
You talk to a lot of naysayers, yeah.
Yeah.
There are no naysayers at our business. The WCI Business Sales, it's always a seller's market unless you're tanking, and then you're going to have to, let us guide you on that. And those businesses usually don't sell, but it's almost always a seller's market. It is.
I want you to tell everybody a little bit about, you've got 27 years of experience, and there are people that make mistakes, okay? Buyers, they have done this. Let's talk about what they are.
So I thought, what am I going to come talk to you about today? Because I don't want to beat dead horses, but let me tell you,
sometimes you have to.
It's popped into my head. And I thought, okay, what are some mistakes that are made by new owners when they take over the business, or right before, or even during the process? And I couldn't type fast enough. I know I didn't get them all. And we really like to help buyers. We work our tails off for the buyers getting these deals done. But there are some things that happen that could have been avoided. And as they come up, we will, of course, inform the buyer, oh my gosh, don't tell all the employees that you're buying this business until and after the deal closes. You don't want to give the employee, this is one of the biggest ones for me, you don't want to give the employees control of if you're going to fail or not.
Mm-hmm.
So by telling employees, some of these big PE groups will say, well, we want to meet with all your key people, even though they haven't even signed off on the money yet. They don't even maybe have it all yet. And they want to get a big roundtable going with all the employees. Why would a seller ever put himself or herself in that position of losing employees, people panicking, people going to other roles somewhere else? It's a nightmare. And so that's the number one thing we beg them not to do. And we will advise our sellers, don't do that, and tell them these stories. Probably 1 out of every 20 actually work out, and it's because there was maybe some kind of a relationship before where the employees already knew the buyer because he was a vendor and he came there all the time and they're okay with it. So
sometimes people say things and they don't even mean it. It's just sort of casual and it comes out. But you know what? You got to be mum's the word when it comes to this.
Follow your non-disclosure.
So you see, even yourself. Now, before we go to a break, can we talk a little bit about what's changing in the business, their names, and let's talk a little bit about that. Changing of signs. You don't want to just go ahead and start doing all this stuff. You get too happy there, too excited.
Yeah, that can get a little crazy too. So some people will come in and they'll say, well, I have 6 other stores with this name and yours is just like it. So we're going to immediately change the name, change how we take orders. We're going to put a manager in place. I'm naming like 5 things that could go wrong. We're going to change vendors. We're going to do all this stuff and we're going to get it all implemented in the first 30 days. Well, guess what? You're losing customers. Now you've lost key employees. Employees are bailing and taking all your secrets to other companies because even if your employee has signed a non-disclosure with your company or the past owner's company, it's not really enforceable in Arizona, and we can talk about that next.
We're going to go to a break, and we are going to talk about that. The important thing is to let them handle the business side of everything. That's what they excel at. And they've been doing this for over 27 years with 300 years of experience.
Well, it's actually 60 years.
It's 60
We've
years.
been in business.
Oh.
I myself have 27.
You're yourself. Okay, let me just tell you, when you listen to her, you know she knows what she's talking about. Her phone number is 602-795-2005. Check them out on the website. It's WCI Broker without the S.com. Okay, so you've kind of done two. We can keep on going here about the mistakes.
Yeah, so we covered like 5 paragraphs there. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got
Books and
the
records.
changing the signage. Here's an example of gift cards. I sold a spa a couple of years ago. So sad. Lovely ladies on both sides of the deal. But unfortunately, some things happened on both sides. Not pointing fingers here.
Mhm.
But I think the major thing that happened is that the new owner, even though she was discounted on the sale for the gift cards that were outstanding, when the people with the gift cards came in to recuperate those, she denied them and said, "I'm the new owner, I'm not accepting any past gift cards." And it was thousands of dollars that she had been discounted on the sale price of the business to cover those. And she started losing customers like crazy, and
Yeah.
it just made me sad. It
Yeah.
really hurt.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I just can't believe that happened.
Well, that's not only hurting herself, but, you had a rapport. Obviously you have to build that with them, right?
With the buyer and the seller.
Right.
I was happy for the seller, and I was thrilled for the buyer. She was perfect, I thought. But then that happened, and I thought, oh my gosh, don't you remember what you signed? But, I represent the seller, so I do advise the buyer, but it's in the best interest of the seller. But let me tell you, I am fair and honest and open on everything. And yeah, so that's just one example.
Yeah, but you know what, that
yeah.
doesn't happen every time.
No,
And
not
but
at all.
you have
I
to
sold
talk
many.
about those examples,
Yeah,
because there are things that go wrong.
And it's like 1 out of every 50 deals, something pops up and it's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, well, it has to happen, right?
Yeah.
There has to be a Monday in there somewhere.
There has to be a Monday, or, one of the things I've also noticed is that people, buyers that are new, that have never owned a franchise, never owned a business, they come in with their own ideas, their own checklist from the internet. They've learned how to do this online, which we've talked about before. And believe me, before I go to a doctor, I'm on the internet. I want to know what's out there, right? So I totally get it, and I would do it too. But sometimes they hitch their wagon to those other people's beliefs and ideas, and then they come in and they've already made up their mind, or they let that person run the deal. This person is going to tell me if I'm buying this business or not. That is
makes no
not
sense.
someone who should buy a business.
Right, that's something to talk about right there.
Yeah. You need to be
Crazy.
able to make your own decisions and
Right.
fire your attorney if you need to.
Yeah, well, because you should it was your business, you're the one that's
Right.
worked it
Right.
all those years. And then what are you gonna do, let somebody make others' decisions for you?
Absolutely.
Crazy. So welcome back. I love my show. And I do, and the reason mostly is because of all of the information that people get here. You're listening, it could be you, it could be someone that you know. That's what networking's all about. And during the break, when we're on Facebook land, we talk a little bit more here during the break, and there's always something more that I learn. There's things that, with Susan, you represent the seller, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you want it to meld, I know that you do, but things happen. We were talking about this at the break. And, it could be the littlest thing, and you don't know what it could be that could really just mess up that deal completely, which is terrible. And that's where you come in, because you are going to guide them as to what to do. As best you can.
Absolutely, and as we were talking through the break, Carol, there are, of course, you need a CPA or an accountant to go through the books and records. There is a review so that everything checks out, and if you see any if your counsel sees anything strange, they can point it out and work with the seller's CPA. We put everybody together and figure out what that was. Oh, that was a personal sale of property. Oops, should not have been run through the business. Those kind of things kind of pop up. We don't go deep in because we're not accountants. So there is a books and records due diligence period in the beginning of the deal. Once you get past that, then you're going into leases, financing is obviously running simultaneously. All this stuff is going on. So we have all these people talking in your ear. You're listening to the lender, you're listening to the CPA, you're listening to your attorney, who of course is completely, usually one-sided. You need a transactional attorney if you're going to use an attorney. Most of our deals are done without attorneys, maybe 20% with. That's what we do. We're licensed to do this. So when you get someone in there that's a naysayer or really, really nervous and says, I absolutely wouldn't buy that business, you need to be the kind of future business owner that can make your own decision. Are you comfortable with that? Do you see what happened? Do you understand? Would you have done it the same way? Is this going to stop you from buying the business? Are you going to let this person dictate what you do?
Let me ask you a question. Because you mentioned that a lot of people sometimes go up onto Google. This is not on your paperwork here.
Right.
They go to Google and they're checking things out. Do people actually try and do these things, this kind of a transaction on their own?
Absolutely. So we'll get people that call and try to buy a business with no money down.
So that's kind of interesting.
I've never seen that done. Or they'll try to buy a completely absentee business without having to do anything. Yes, we have absentee businesses, we have semi-absentee businesses, but believe me, that owner's got his thumb on the manager. He is speaking to that person every day.
But for what you do, okay, listen up everyone, there's a lot of people out there that are on the thinking about selling your business. Please call the experts. I think that is the first and foremost thing you do. It is a free consultation. They work on a contingency basis, right?
No upfront fees.
No upfront fees. It's not about that. It's all about first, let's find out, is this business sellable?
And if we can get you a price that'll make you happy, would you be willing to sell? Maybe it's not the right price. Maybe it's more than you thought.
Yeah, that's...
I've had that happen a lot.
Yeah, so how do you find out that?
So that's another interesting Google item. Sellers will go, and buyers, sellers will go online and Google the price, what should my business sell for? Or they'll ask a CPA or an attorney. And those are the ones that will call us and say, I just got off the phone with my CPA. My CPA says this business is worth 10 times what I make. So then we're talking about, what do you mean, what do you make? Are you talking about net profit, cash flow, EBITDA? Are you talking about the total sales? I've had people call me, this is more often than not, well, my business makes $1 million in sales every year and my accountant told me it's worth $5 million or it's worth $3 million. Well, really? How's that business going to buy itself back? You're only keeping about $200,000 out of the business. There's your free cash flow. Even though your sales are $1 million, you have 80% in overhead. $800,000 is gone. How's this business going to buy itself back on $200,000 a year? If you're buying something for $5 million, you're looking at $250,000, $300,000 or more in debt service every year. If the business only has $200,000 and it owes $350,000 just to the bank before you get to pay your mortgage, how does that work?
I don't know, but I love listening to you. I'll tell you right now. You know your stuff.
So, and those numbers might not be spot on for every business, but I'm just saying the business has to be able, when we look at financials, we say, how much can this business afford to pay for itself? How quickly can it buy itself back? And we know the numbers. And not every business is priced the same. Don't let anybody tell you that. Now,
Kinds of businesses that you like to sell. This is not on here either.
I love healthcare.
Okay. So
I love healthcare. I love anything to do with seniors. I like service businesses. I like transportation. Love construction. I know it very well. My brother has bought 2 construction companies with my help. So yeah, I mean, you know, construction is one day chicken, next day feathers. But let me tell you, the chicken's really good.
Well, And I mean, I asked you this because there are so many people that listen, and I always say this, it's not just always who you're talking to, but who they know. And especially maybe you have family members that are a little bit older, they're thinking about retiring, and even if you want to sell the business to a family member.
Oh, we do that.
Exactly. I mean,
We have contracts already written up for that, we have banks lined up, and those deals they're not easy, but it's nice to already have a buyer in place, and we can discount on that if you bring the buyer. And those are really cool. I love handling those where you're selling to a manager or you're selling to, a longtime employee that you've always wanted. We've done those deals.
yeah, that's so cool that it even happens.
I had a great gentleman that sold a glass company, and he gave the buyer quite a bit of money as a bonus so that he could buy the business.
You see?
So there's ways to get this done. Yeah, the timing had to be just right, and we did it.
Now, that phone number to call again at 602-795-2005, WCI Broker without the S.com. So let's go back down to here. How is WCI different then from other business brokers? I already know the answer to that.
Experience, one word.
Yeah. Experience. You also, I think it's important that you are licensed. That's important to talk about.
Our agents are licensed that are handling these deals. There's always a licensed agent, or sometimes 2 or 3 involved in your deals. Our office is really competitive, so having this many people right on 24th Street, Camelback, right down the street, having that many agents that are aggressive with that many buyers, the buyers are calling us constantly and texting and emailing, what do you got coming, and so if the agent that takes the listing brings it in with the right criteria, pricing, terms, the other agents will lunge all over it. And we are so competitive, Carol. It's fun. So we'll get an offer, and then we'll get a backup offer, and then we'll get maybe another one. And so, yeah, it's just fun if you bring in a great business with good books and records at the right price.
And just think, you can retire.
Or go buy another business, or work part-time, or take 2 years off.
Do something that you've been wanting to do, been thinking about it. Call. I think it's better to call early. If you're ready, let's get them on the phone.
Right.
But if you even if you think you're just thinking about it, I think it's a good time to call. Any time is a good time, because you're going to find out, first of all, exactly what this business is worth, knowing what they have to do, which are several steps.
What do I need to do? What's the current value of my asset?
They don't happen
When's the
overnight.
best time to sell for me?
Right. And I love that you are so passionate about what you do. And you know what? It's in your blood, because your dad owned the business first, right? It's just in your blood.
I didn't even grow up in this. Most people don't know I didn't even meet my father until I was almost 30.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know him at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I did meet him, I was like, wow, that explains a lot.
He was busy. It
explained a lot about who I was.
Yeah.
Because I could never quite fit the puzzle. I'm like, I don't fit in.
Yeah, but you know what though?
And then I met him, and I said, oh, brother, geez, I wish I'd have known this, when I was a kid growing up.
But how much you respect and love this man who gave you.
We met at the perfect time, and it worked out great.
He gave you all that you have today, and you know what? Thank you for that, because you
Thank
help
you, Dad.
those businesses out there, and they need your help. You need to go to somebody that has the experience. That's what they bring to the table first and foremost. It's WCI Broker without the S.com at 602